Greetings all and welcome to Dave's Craft Room. And on today's video, I am making two twin quilts for twin boys. These quilts are going to be for my friend San Martin, who has two twin boys named Milo and Denzel. They were actually born a year ago. And I forget what was going on around that time, but obviously I didn't have time to make them quilts then. But luckily, now I get another chance because it's soon going to be the 1 year anniversary of their birth, also known as a birthday. And I'm going to make them quilts for their 1 year birthday. San Martin and his wife kind of do some color coordination with their boys because their middle names coordinate with the sky and the ground. So Milo is blue and Denzel is green. To be honest, I do not really know what I'm going to do for the green quilt yet, but I did have an idea for the blue quilt. I'm going to make it first and hope that an idea strikes me for the green quilt. By the end of the video, you'll see it. I'm not going to finish the video until I made it, but I'm going to make these boys their quilts and I'm going to put their names on them big. And I want the quilts to be kind of like they came from the same collection, but they're different. Because I want each boy to have his own thing. And it's going to be his own because it's going to say his name big across it. And that's very important because when I was growing up, my mom made me and my brother each a quilt. Same fabric, but different pattern. Mine was pinwheels, my brother's was log cabin. But we kept fighting over whose was whose. And so she finally wrote our names on them. But I think she got it wrong, and I think she listened to him instead of me, and she put my name on his and his name on mine. But then it was set in stone, and I've never forgiven her for that. So, I mean, they're different colors anyway, so they're not going to get confused, but I still want to personalize them and have Milo's name be big across his and Denzel's name on his. So let's get into it. It's kind of a seedling of an idea, really, and you might see me do some experimentation, but sky, right? So I have a day sky and a night sky, constellations. I forget which other quilt I used this fabric in, but I really like this constellation fabric. Whatever I used it for, I really butchered it up. I don't even know. I don't remember. Oh, this is all I have of it. This is all I have of this, but I do have another piece similar to it that I can substitute. Matter of fact, I might use this one instead. My idea is to make kind of log cabin blocks and then half square triangle them with these. It's kind of hard to explain it. You'll just have to see it, and you'll see it soon. And then sky will be kind of, the day sky will be kind of here, and the night sky will be kind of here. I think. I honestly don't even really know yet. I need to do scientific experiment. Okay, so I'm gonna just do some experiments. I'll film it. I may come back later and tell you what the actual tea is. So let's just go. Let's do it. All right, people. I pretty much came up with an idea, and this is my rough sketch on a whiteboard. And what we have here is these blocks, which were constructed log cabin style. And then I'm going to make some that look like this with the dark night sky fabric. And then I'm going to make some using this fabric too. And I'm going to alternate them in here. And then these corners are going to be HST'd like that. This with the sky fabric and this with the the day sky fabric and then the night sky fabric down here. And then these are going to alternate with the two different kinds of blocks. I haven't made any of these yet, but the tea about doing the HST of these is that if you make an HST of a square, then it shrinks a little bit. So that's not good because I don't want the HST ones to be smaller than this. Then I would have to trim these. And I like these the size they are, so I don't want to trim them. So the solution is on the blocks that I'm going to HST like this, I'm going to start with a square on the inside that's slightly bigger. 1/2 inch bigger, so I started with 1.5 inch square. I think I'll start with a 2-inch square. And then when I cut it to make my HST, it'll be I think it'll still be slightly bigger, but it will be easier to trim and it'll be closer to the right size and I can trim it and I think it'll look better to do it that way. So let me get started. This is the idea for the blue one, and I have the seedling of the idea for the green one, but I'm not going to share it yet because I'm not 100% sure I can pull it off. So let's do that. I made 6 of these. I'm not going to go over step by step on how to make this. My videos are not really meant to be tutorials, so on my channel I kind of take it for a given that you can probably see this and know how it's made. I mean, it's literally just a log cabin block where I made them, the same color squares all the way around. Typically, a log cabin block is like this side be one color and this side be the other color, but you can do it this way too, and that's what I've done. I made 6 of these. I think I need 8, so I need to make 2 more, and then I need to make the ones that are slightly bigger that I'm gonna then HST. If you don't understand all the stuff that I just said, you'll get it in a second because you'll see it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start making stuff. If you didn't notice, I'm not doing these log cabin style exactly. I now switched to courthouse step because it's faster to be able to do both sides at once. So that's what I'm doing. These are the bigger ones that I'm gonna HST, and these are the other ones, the not HST ones. That's why they're different size. Alright, all of these are done, all 9 of these blocks, and it's now time to HST these. These are the ones which are slightly bigger, so let's do that. I made 3, but I'll end up with 6 blocks. We're gonna trim these up to make them square and then trim these. Oh my gosh, this is so perfect. They're just exactly what I need. Cool, this is the layout I'm happy with. Let's get it sewn up. All right, people, I have the blue quilt done, and now it's time to make the green one. So this is the green fabric. I have a light and a dark solid, and then these are my two prints. This is from the Earth Views collection by Karen Nyberg, and it's literally like actually the ground, the earth from outer space, and then this is leaves. The blue one was made up of squares, and I said that I wanted to do twin quilts that are the same, only different. And so I realized that the thing to do for this is circles. And to do circles, I'm going to cut, well, it's kind of hard to explain. I would rather just show you. But I'm going to do the 6-minute circle technique that was invented by Dale Flemming, which uses freezer paper, which I have some over here. This is freezer paper that I got off Amazon. I've demonstrated this technique before in a couple of videos, namely the Karen Nyberg orbital views video and the Cheez-It Quilt video and the blue improv wedding quilt, and I'll link those videos below. I'm pretty much going to do this. It's easiest to deal with squares and then cut off the bulk later. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut, I need 11 of each one. So I'm going to cut these into squares. That'll be the background fabric. I'm just going to make them all 10 inches and then trim them to size. And when I HST them and then trim them to size 2. So I don't have to do like 2 different sizes like I did for the log cabin blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to cut these circles out. Not even sure if you can see them, but I'm going to cut these out with the X-Acto knife, and I'm going to save them because I can use the circle to put the smaller circles in, and I'll show you what I'm talking about because I don't think that probably made any sense, but you'll see how I put a circle inside of another circle with this technique. Alright, so now I'm gonna iron these on. In this scene, I'm cutting out that center circle, and then I need to clip all the way around the edges in order to fold it over. I try to cut right up to just shy of the paper, like 1 thread away from the paper. And I'm also keeping that center circle that I'm cutting out because I'm going to use it later. The next step is that I ironed the fabric over the paper, and this is why I needed to cut it. And then after I iron it, it's important to let it cool down before I put glue on it. Otherwise, if I put glue stick on the hot fabric, then it would dry instantly and it would not be sticky anymore. So then once it's cool, then I put the glue stick on and glue the printed fabric square to the circle, and then the iron dries the glue instantaneously. I peeled these off so I can use them again. I think I cut enough so that I only had to use each one twice. You can use them more times than that, but they tend to lose stickiness, and these were getting kind of warped. I also ripped a couple of them accidentally. And then this is how you sew it on. You pull back the top fabric and sew along that line. Here it is from another angle, although my hand is blocking the actual view you need because it's kind of hard to film and do the things at the same time, but hopefully you kind of get it. You just pull back the fabric and sew inside the crease. And then later I'll show you how I cut off the extra bulk. So these are the squares that I had cut, or sorry, the circles that I had cut out. And I can use these now to make the next level 2.5 inches. So this is basically how I proceed. I use the circles that I had previously cut out to fill in the inside of the levels of the circles. And then eventually I got an assembly line going where I cut out the center circle, score around it so I can iron it over, do another one while I wait for that to cool down, and then glue the fabric circle to the opening, peel off the freezer paper, and iron that piece of freezer paper onto the dark one so I can do those next. All right, these blocks are done. It's now gonna be time to HST 3 of them. And then after that, I'm gonna trim them. All right, so now I'm gonna trim them. The way I'm gonna do that is I kind of gotta make sure the circle is in the middle. So I need to draw it on here. I can draw on this with a whiteboard marker. The circle is gonna help me to line it up so I can trim them. All right, let's get these on the design wall and see how they look. So I may have counted a little bit wrong and I have to make one more of each block. And this right here is literally all the more of this Karen Nyberg fabric that I have left. So I've had to substitute with this chunk of camo, which I find very serendipitous. I mean, it's kind of close. Obviously, it's definitely noticeable, but we're gonna make it work. And I can also tell you, I'm hoping to be able to hide this behind the name Denzel, so it will be even less noticeable, but let's do this. Let's knock out this one extra block. I can't believe I miscounted, but it does tend to happen in Dave's Crafters, so here we go. I need to prepare my applique so I can see whether I can hide this. It doesn't stand out that much though. That's why it's camo. I had top stitched with a straight stitch the one layer of the name applique down, but now it's time to deal with the outside raw edge of the applique, and to do that I need my Singer sewing machine to use the zigzag stitch. I keep this under my table and bring it out anytime I need a zigzag stitch or any other fancy stitch. Test the zigzag out on a scrap piece to make sure it's perfect, and then get busy. Alright, the Milo and Benzel quilts are done, and they are stunning. You definitely can see the little Amish mistake there, but that's okay, we deal. So I'm gonna piece some backings because I don't have any one piece that's big enough for a backing, so I'm gonna have to piece some backings together. And then I hope that I can use this polyester batting twin size by cutting it in half and using half on each one. I think that's gonna work, so let's get to it. That's gonna be a little close. I don't know if I can do that. I think it's just gonna work. I think I can do it. I can make it work. Okay, let's piece the backing. I decided to finish the quilts by doing the inside out method, where I put the top and backing face together and add a sheet of batting, and then I turn it inside out, and then I hand sew the opening shut. To quilt it, I used my machine and I sewed around the edge to create that French seam, and then I sewed in between the blocks. I only showed doing the one here, but I quilted both the quilts the same way. I had the honor of giving these to my friend San Martin for the birthday of his twin boys, and I hope they like it. That's going to be all for today's video. Thank you for coming to Dave's Craft Room. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and please come again.